It is finally warm outside, and I am committed to spending as much time outdoors after this crazy year as humanly possible. And that is why today's episode of Flawless TV is all about picnics. Jason and I love to go to concerts in the park, pack a picnic, a bottle of wine, but today we're just heading to the pier with Frith to enjoy a nice early supper, and we hope to meet up with a few friends. I'm therefore going to make my portions quite generous. We are gonna start with a broccoli kale salad. I've already julienned much of the kale, but I wanted to show you how I do it. It's really cool. I have dinosaur kale, or also called Tuscan kale, which are these long, beautiful leaves. So first thing, I just strip the stem away by pulling, just like that. And I'll make a pile of compost to compost these larger stalks, but they'd probably actually still be yummy to saute them, add a little crunch to a salad. But in this salad, I don't need the stalk. There we go. Now that I have the stalks removed, I'm just going to stack the leaves like so, and roll them up. Starting with the little tails, I'm just making a little bundle, little tight roll, looks like a little sushi roll. Then with my very sharp knife, I am going to make, 1/8 of an inch wide slices along my roll. And voila! We have little beautiful strips of Tuscan kale. Next, we're just gonna add the rest of the ingredients, make the dressing, and we're all done. The rest, that was 2 heads of dinosaur kale. This is 2 heads of broccoli. And I even chopped up some of the stems in there. I love the stalk of broccoli, and it adds a nice crunch. To this, I have red onion, sharp cheddar cheese, freshly grated, bacon, raisins, sunflower seeds, and that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and toss this together loosely. The rest we will incorporate after we add the dressing, but yeah, it's just roughly mixed together. And now for the dressing. When I made the bacon, I reserved about 1/4 cup of the bacon grease. That is my first and probably most important ingredient, outside of the kale, of course. Next, we have 1/4 cup of sour cream, 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1½ tablespoons of white wine vinegar, and you can use maple syrup too. I'm using agave syrup, about 2 tablespoons. I'll just whisk that together. Some salt, not too much because the bacon's already pretty salty. And a good bit of freshly ground black pepper. Right onto my salad greens. We'll toss that all together. One of the things that my son holds me accountable for is saving the planet, actually specifically saving polar bears. So he has forbidden me to use single-use plastics. So I am holding to it, hopefully making him proud. And today, even on our picnic, our disposables are either compostable or reusable. So I like to pack things in glass containers. And I think for the broccoli kale salad, I'm gonna just use this wide mouth mason jar and load her up. You can also do this in smaller mason jars, and it can actually be the bowl you eat it out of. But I'm kind of excited about the plates I'm taking on our picnic, so this will just be my carrying container. Next up, we're gonna prep the cheese. Whenever I make a cheese plate, whether it's for a picnic or at home, I love to choose some cheeses and then pair each one with a thing. So today for our picnic, I've chosen 5 cheeses, and I have fruit and nuts. I have some radishes, some honeycomb. This is how we're gonna put it together. So I'm gonna start with my radishes. I love a harder cheese like the Gruyere I have here, with the crunch of radish. And I think that the spring radishes are just beautiful, just roughly chopped, and then a little salt added to them. I don't mind leaving a little bit of green tufts on top. I think it makes it look healthier and more beautiful. I'm gonna throw my radishes into here, a little mason jar, salt them up, and we're good to go there. Next up, I am going to do a little fruit and nut combination. So again, in another little mason jar, I am going to take some strawberries. This is also wonderful with blueberries. And leave some of them whole if they're little. Slice them in half. But I am gonna take off the little green tops so that it feels easier to eat with a fork. Because I'm about to stick some gooey balsamic glaze on these, and you don't want to have to deal with that with your fingertips when you're outside. I have some Marcona almonds. I'm just going to sprinkle them right on top of the strawberries, and some balsamic glaze. You can also just do regular balsamic vinegar. It's so good with strawberries or blueberries. And then the saltiness of the nuts. This will go flawlessly with this truffle cheese we have here. Ready for my basket. Finally, I just want to have some grapes. Again, I love Gruyere. Green grapes and Gruyere cheese is such an amazing combination. The grapes are always also going to be really good with this boursin. And I am going to use one of my handy dandy compostable sandwich bags for my grapes. They're all washed. And I tried to, cut them into nice, pretty clusters so that they'll be really easy and beautiful to plate when we get to the pier. I have some smoked trout dip, which is a favorite. I didn't make it, but we love it. It's by Blue Hill Bay. And I'm just gonna remove this single-use plastic wrap so that I don't have to deal with it at the pier. And discard that here. I'm going to also bring a fresh baguette that I picked up at the market, and we need some butter. One of my favorite combinations with really sharp, dark blue cheese is butter. I know it sounds crazy, but when I was 16 years old, I had the amazing experience of my parents sending me to France for the summer. And my host family, we would go out touring Paris at the time during the day, and we camped right on the Seine River. But they would pick up a baguette in the morning, and you would pick a cheese that you wanted to have as your lunch. And they smeared it on the baguette, and then I'd have that with an orangina for my lunch. I would always choose Boursin. It's where I fell in love with this cheese. But one morning, the host dad said to me that I should try the Roquefort blue cheese. And I said, okay. I mean, I wanted to be polite, and I was pretty open to trying new foods, but I was a little scared of blue cheese. He smeared butter on the baguette and then topped it with a thick layer of Roquefort cheese. It is, to this day, the best sandwich I have ever had. So butter for my picnic in a little mason jar, ready to pair with my Roquefort cheese. I think that about covers it for our cheese portion of our picnic. I am gonna throw a little bit of this beautiful honeycomb in another mason jar, and then we're on to dessert. For dessert, peaches and cream with salted dulce de leche. That's right. I am going to take on a picnic salted dulce de leche, and you better believe that I slaved all day over the stove making this dulce de leche. No, it is so simple, and I'm so excited to give you the big reveal. 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, just like this. Watch carefully. You don't want to miss this very important step. Remove the paper. Put this in a pot of boiling water for 2 hours. Cool it off and open it up. Check it out. Can you believe it? That is sweetened condensed milk. I promise you that's how it started. So to make the dulce de leche, I'm gonna take this caramel, this cooked milk, out of the can. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla and salt. Mix that all together. And then, you guessed it, another glass jar. So I've already chopped up my peaches. White peaches are what looked the best. So I've chopped them up. I've already put them in the jar. And the only other thing that this dessert is calling for is some fresh whipped cream. All right, that should be plenty. We'll have the rest on some ice cream on another day. With my peaches into my basket. Now, when I'm whipping cream, it's as simple as whipping cream, but there are a few things that I like to do to make sure it whips up well and doesn't turn to butter, as my mother would say. And the most important thing is that you're starting with really cold cream and that your beaters are also cold. So straight out of my freezer, I am using my whisk beaters, icy cold. And I am going to just let this roll until it thickens. And I'm actually, sometimes I'll add some sugar to whipping cream, but I find that cream is already so sweet. And with the sweetness of the peaches and the sweetness of the salted dulce de leche, I'm not gonna add any sugar to this whipped cream. I am gonna add a little bit of vanilla, and I'm not gonna add that until I start to see soft peaks form, which is about to happen in the next 30 seconds. Time to add the vanilla. Then I'm gonna finish whipping this up. I'm actually gonna put it into a thermos so that it stays cold and doesn't fall loose. And we'll be back to pack our basket and head to the pier. Now, to drink, Jason and I are going to enjoy a mezcal hibiscus iced tea, and for Frith, a lemonade hibiscus iced tea. So simple to make. I brewed hibiscus tea earlier today. It's nice and chilly. I'm filling 3 jars with a wheel of lemon full of ice. This is also going to serve as a little cool pack in my cooler. And I am going to first add the mezcal for Jason and I. I'll do 1.5 ounces into my jar. And I don't even need to shake it because it will naturally dilute itself. This is also wonderful sparkling, and if you have one of those bubble making soda machines at home, this is wonderful to sparkle. But today we're going to just go with it still. Ta-da! Oh, it smells so good. Now for Frith. So simple. I'm just gonna go half lemonade, half iced tea. And I'm gonna make sure I can tell the difference in color. And just for good measure, I'm gonna put a special blue rubber band on my non-alcoholic Little Guys lemonade iced tea. Tops on, we'll be all set shortly. And I also am going to bring a few cans of Pinot Noir for Jason and I with some tin cups to conceal just in case. Time to pack our basket and head to the pier. All right. I'm gonna put my broccoli kale salad, honeycomb, peaches, radishes, strawberries and Marcona almonds, fresh whipped cream, Frith's mocktail, Jason's and my cocktails, Jason's and my wine, dulce de leche, grapes, our cheeses, smoked whitefish salad, and our butter. Look at that. Fits flawlessly. Now I have my blanket. These awesome melamine dishes. Don't they look like glass? They're not. Safe for a picnic. Some chips for that fish dip. My baguette. I have some knives for the cheese. Extra napkins. And I'm bringing real silverware, which I rolled up so cute with a little piece of twine, fork, knife, and spoon for each of us. And last but not least, a garbage bag that is fully compostable. Whew! I'm gonna go grab Jason to help me carry this one. This is Flawless. This incredible city, just absolutely perfect weather, an abundance of beautiful food, and my boys. Cheers to you!